Peace, what's going down? It's your man DJ Pain One here with another special guest producer who does a lot more than produce, actually. His name is Keyboard Kid 206, live from Seattle, Washington. What's going down, sir? Appreciate you joining me.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Yeah.
You know, I'm from Wisconsin. I make beats for a lot of different artists. You're in Seattle, and I know Seattle has a much more of a musical history in terms of it being high profile than where I'm from. But it's still not really seen as a hip-hop hub necessarily. And given all the high-profile collaborations you've done with artists outside of your city, you know, how did you work that out? Do you work remotely most of the time?
Yeah, a lot of it, you know, was remotely. And it was kind of me just getting out there, like recognizing the kind of like the change in the music industry when MySpace was kind of bubbling it up. And, you know, I happened to be friends with like Lil B already, and he was friends with Soulja Boy at the time. You know, they gave me a lot of game on just how to get yourself out there on the internet and market yourself and, you know, tag yourself in a lot of music. And, you know, I just happened to get blessed, and me and B were friends. And when he blew up, that kind of put me in a position to be like, you know, people are like, who's making a lot of his beats? You know, I didn't really want to be seen at first. I was more like, I was going to take that approach, like, you know, wear the mask and be behind the scenes and stuff like that. You know, I had a conversation with my mom one day, and she said, you know, you're not really an artist till people see you and they can put you with the music and, you know, make their decision and judge it. And so I made a decision to just go ahead and release at the time a compilation of music. And it was just mainly internet, man. It's like I just put it out there, and it kind of caught wind and caught wave. You know, it's just all a blessing.
What was some of the advice they gave you for navigating the social media world back then?
At the time, it's like, yo, put as much content out as you can, but make sure it all links back to you. So it was a lot of keywording and tagging before I really knew what that was really doing, as far as like putting your name in everything you could and title it, you know, make social network accounts and put your name in the title, but make sure you always use your name. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, you know, if I got on an account, I wouldn't make a handle that wasn't Keyboard Kid. So everything I did was like Keyboard Kid. And that helped Google be able to target me. And so when people were typing in my name, it would start to pop up, and I would notice my pictures would pop up more on Google Web and on the search. And that's how I kind of started putting myself out there. So when I finally released my tape, it allowed, you know, writers and everybody to be like, okay, this kid's from Seattle. This is his Facebook account. You know, this is his Tumblr page, and kind of help build that identity and get me out there a little bit more.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because a lot of artists, producers too, but a lot of artists just in general will have, you know, their Facebook page. They'll have their personal page, but they'll use it to promote music. Then they'll have their Twitter, and it'll be like at Super Hot Beats, but their name is actually K Rock Beats or something, and it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
so find them. Yeah.
You gotta lay that map out for people to be able to find you. You know, I've been blessed to get like even like all my handles is like Keyboard Kid 206.
So way back, you did an interview with Fact Magazine. You were talking about working with Lil B, who you just mentioned, and you said that he never dictated production style to you. He never told you what types of beats to send him. And so as a result, the music that you created with him was always unique. It never sounded like anything else that was out. So do you think if you had both not allowed the other to just kind of do their own thing and make something completely unique, and you just kind of looked at what was already out there and copied that blueprint, you think the music would have been as successful?
But you know, it's funny you brought that up, because me and him were actually having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about how everything happened fast, and how we just kind of are able to now look back on a lot of the things we did and kind of digest it all. You know, like I don't think it would have, you know, I think like we really stayed, you know, stuck to our guns. It was like, we're going to be original and try to do things that people haven't done. You know what I mean? Just stretch the genre as far as we can and the boundaries as far as we can. And man, just kind of do things outside the box. And I really think it was, you know, him willing to take risks, you know, as well as an artist, and allow me to create the canvases for him to, you know, make these crazy songs on. And yeah, man, like I don't really think it would have had the same effect if I had, you know, tried to put myself in the box and try to make things that were going on at the time. Because, you know, I listen to a lot of it now, and it was so far ahead of his time. It's a lot of the sounds and colorful things I was using that I'm like, man, it sounds relevant now even. So I think, you know, like, had we done that, we probably might have just fallen, you know, how if you try to follow trends, you could just end up falling behind, you know what I mean? So I definitely think taking a chance and doing our own thing and allowing each other to work freely. And also the fact that we maybe weren't even around each other all the time when we were working. It was, me remotely and him remotely doing his thing, that it allowed for a unique sound.
It just struck me because you, at that time, you were really prolific. You were making tons and tons of, I mean, not that you aren't now, but at the time it was weird to be that prolific. Do you think you kind of, along with Lil B and that circle of artists, kind of set the tone now, where it's like you put out a mix, rappers put out a mixtape every other week? That wasn't happening back then.
That was really wild. It was like, man, it was just like just an explosion of creation. And I was just, looking back, I was like, whoa, like even me, some of the things I was doing, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I don't even know where I was at, like mentally when I was making this music. But being an artist that, took risk, I feel like, for myself, and wanted to do different types of things and make my own sounds. It was really exciting to see the response I was getting at the time. So I just went as hard as I could. And also with B being so prolific, it was like I had to keep up. So I wanted to make sure I had more than enough beats for him to even think about rapping on. So I just kept it going, and, I just went crazy. Yeah. We were on a whole nother time zone. Like, I always joke with my friend. I'm like, man, Bass World is really a place because it's like time really don't exist. Like, even when he be rapping that, because it's like I wasn't even thinking about it. I made so much music. I just wanted to put it out,